Manchester United are walking into Stamford Bridge with one of the most patched-up defensive setups they've had all season, and that changes everything about how this game is going to be played. This is no longer just about tactics or form, this is about survival, adaptation, and whether Michael Carrick can build a system that protects what is left of his backline while still giving United a chance to compete. Because let's be clear, this is a defensive crisis. No Lisandro Martinez, no Harry Maguire, and now, no Lenny Yoro. That is 3 major defensive options unavailable for one of the hardest away fixtures in the league. At that point, you are not selecting your best 11, you are building a solution. And based on the leaked and expected lineup, that solution looks like a backline built on compromise rather than stability. The likely structure points toward a reshuffled defence, possibly with makeshift partnerships in central areas and less natural fullback balance. That immediately tells you one thing. United are not going to dominate this game through defensive control. They are going to have to manage it. Now here is where the analysis gets interesting. When you lose your first choice centre-backs, your entire system shifts. The defensive line drops slightly deeper, the midfield becomes more protective, the build-up becomes less risky. And suddenly, players who were not supposed to carry responsibility now have to step into it. That is where someone like Kobbie Mainoo becomes critical again. If he starts, he is not just a midfielder, he becomes a shield. His positioning, his calmness on the ball, his ability to slow the game down, all of that becomes essential to protecting a weakened defence. Then there is Mason Mount, who could play a key role in pressing and transitions. Against his former club, this is exactly the kind of game where his energy and intelligence can disrupt Chelsea's rhythm, especially high up the pitch. Because let's not forget, the best way to protect a weak defence is not just sitting deep, it is controlling what happens before the ball even gets there. Now flip it to Chelsea FC. They will see this lineup and immediately recognise the opportunity. A weakened United backline invites pressure. It invites aggressive pressing. It invites early attacks into wide areas and behind the defensive line. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge already play with intensity. Add vulnerability in the opposition defence, and that intensity increases. So expect them to test United early. Crosses into the box, quick transitions, direct runs at whichever centre-back pairing Carrick puts out. This is where the game could be decided in the first 20 to 30 minutes. If United hold firm, stay compact and avoid early mistakes, the pressure begins to shift. Chelsea's inconsistency this season means they are not always comfortable controlling games for long periods. But if United concede early, with this defensive setup, the game can quickly spiral. And that is why Carrick's message, angry, focused and ready, matters even more now. Because this is not a game where United can afford to switch off even for a moment. Every duel matters more. Every decision matters more. Every defensive action is under a microscope. There is also a psychological element here. When a team knows its defence is weakened, the instinct is often to become cautious, to play safe, to avoid risk. But against Chelsea, that can be dangerous, because sitting back too much invites pressure, and pressure eventually creates mistakes. So Carrick has a balance to find. Protect the defence without suffocating the attack. Stay compact without becoming passive. Be disciplined without losing the ability to hurt Chelsea going forward. That is not easy, especially in a stadium where Manchester United's record has been consistently poor. But here is the opportunity hidden in all of this. When expectations drop, pressure shifts. No one is looking at this United lineup and saying they should dominate. That removes a layer of expectation, and sometimes that is exactly when teams produce their most resilient performances. So this game becomes less about perfection and more about execution. Can United stay organised under pressure? Can the midfield protect what is behind them? Can they take their moments when they come? Because with this lineup, they will not get many. And that is the reality. This is not Manchester United at full strength trying to impose themselves. This is Manchester United adapting, surviving, and trying to prove they can still compete, even when everything is not in their favour.